Good morning. Um, it's strange. I'm battling pain, and sorry about my voice. I'm battling pain at the moment, and basically everything that's going on with my voice, I wasn't expecting, and it's very appropriate to the title. But as soon as I pressed start on the live stream, it gives me about 3 seconds. And in those 3 seconds, the pain intensified. Obviously, there is some pressure in speaking on a live stream, however relaxed I try and make my own personal live streams. It's the same thing as being home absolutely alone to the world and being there with your mum or dad, being there with a friend, being there with someone you don't know. The nervous system reacts differently. The mind is different, and it demands a different amount of energy, focus, and everything else of the body and nervous system. We don't really know the levels and details that it demands. Like now, I wasn't expecting to feel any difference in pain. I know I'm working to severe levels, but I'm pretty relaxed as relaxed as can be, within this extreme place of consciousness that I'm in. And I guess the smallest amount of pain can really rock the boat quite drastically. It's so much so that I might have to end the live stream. It's ridiculous, that feeling of being alone to having to communicate what it can do, but I'm going to push through, because I really have no choice. What you just half witnessed, that battle, that's my battle all day long. There are many complexities to what constitutes the pain and discomfort and everything else. But the whole point is to give myself a chance of life and break away from that. And the world, from my perception, will tell you an alertness, like if you hear my tone of voice, my facial expression, you get an awareness of my consciousness. And the world will tell you the way to be conscious is bright-eyed. But to my understanding of life and the world, that isn't the case. Especially, well, it's not especially, it's just my understanding, my ignorant 37-year-old understanding of everything. That's just, this is a place I've kept coming to, a question I've kept coming to time and time again. And the honest reaction is that my understanding of life is that that isn't accurate. I could be wrong. This happens to me on many occasions. It has done since I was a teenager. You're just honest with yourself. Life might prove you wrong, and that's fine. That's the learning lesson, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's no arrogance there. That's what I'm trying to say. But as I've grown older and as those questions have become more and more serious, we're talking about levels of consciousness for the sake of mitigating suffering. I tend to, well, not tend, but I've started to be correct. That never used to happen. I was like always wrong. But we'll wait and see how this one pans out, what the answer is. But without the awareness of why bright-eyed, bushy-tailed isn't a correct means of consciousness when my own circumstance is so serious and severe, there's never going to be a way to really give me the space to try. Oh, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed might be correct. Should I just try that? But I'm dealing with severe amounts of pain. So it's not like I can just try it in this instance. But in the past, when I had space, when I have space, when the questions are different, trying different avenues leads to different results. Sometimes, as I said, I used to be always wrong. That's because there was space to try different possibilities. I never had that pressure on myself as a fixed ego, not because I said I want to be this way. It's probably the opposite. I said it was probably a case of, oh, I want to be this way. But in fact, this way is better. Whereas now, my ego is defined by my pains and my past. And in that place, it's not so much an egoed ego. It's more a case of the formation of life that resembles a character of a human. That is called an ego. But if you give me the choice right now, would you want to be the way you were before, where you chose and you never had an ego? Or would you prefer this way, where you don't choose and pain creates you an ego? It's a simple answer. The egoless answer is to say, and the humble answer is to say, I'd rather live a life without pain. It's not about ego. But I'm here at the moment, and what time is it? It's 9:20, and I've been battling with this all night, and I've not been winning. And I can see the day unfolding already, and I've lived this place now for what feels like months, where I battle it all day long and I get nowhere. But I've got a different plan in place now to get my life back on track. And in that place, a little bit of pushing in the right direction makes sense. A little bit of trying. Because I'm focused, I know what direction I wish to go in. I know the parameters of a live stream, what it gives me. And for that, it's worth trying to speak my way to find any ground. Pardon me. And there enters the question of consciousness. Because in the moments before this live stream, the level of consciousness I had, and to be honest, nothing has changed. It's just as I hear the words come out my mouth of my present moment circumstance, I form a picture of where I am. I'm having my morning breakfast and coffee at the same time. Breakfast, break fast, speaking, breaking the fast of no communication and breaking the fast of taking on sustenance. But the level of consciousness that I'm talking about, what does it mean to be an awake being, is really where it's at. Because on one level, I'm here. It's like I'm disconnected from my body on quite a serious level. with pain and with what I'm going through in terms of my mental health and life, aspects of terror. It's easy to get lost and find myself doing stuff like playing on my phone, trying to manage and cope in the present moment when the pain is too much. And where I'm not connected to my body and my mind is intoxicated to levels of pain, I can quite easily become I don't quite know how to reference it. It's like asleep whilst being awake. And in that place, it's something I've gone through my whole battle of my mental health, being more and more aware of that. But now I see it clearly, pardon myself, in the sense that how it constitutes the suffering I go through that's the worst. It's just not something, not a place to find myself in at the moment. It might be something I can learn to utilize in the future, but at the moment it's not a place to find myself in. As much as I don't really have much choice because I'm already in it. I don't know how to get myself out. So again, it's like, what does it mean to be an awake human? And for me, that question is unknown. It likely means in my mind to be enlightened. I believe that is our birthright as human beings, to be an enlightened being. But for some reason we're suppressed and hidden to these lower levels of consciousness. So what does it mean to be an awake being is probably not the correct question, because I don't think I know myself to be able to answer. I don't think many people do. But it's more a case of what's the next best thing that one can do when they have no idea, no hope of finding out. And that is the process of the navigation of being in that place of unconscious within the consciousness process, and how do you navigate everything you've ever experienced to guide you, and the present moment, everything you've ever experienced and what you're being asked of in the present moment, to guide yourself in a direction of awakeness. And I claim that my decision to make a live stream today was that navigation process. I have a rough plan in place of how to get myself out of this place. That is my own personal awakeness. And I believe it's as simple as that. When I find myself in a place like I was just before I press start on this live stream, it's a very scary place to be. Just to hear myself speak those few words to say, I'm doing the right thing. It's a little bit of a reassurance. And I think I'm going to press end now because I'm pushing to a certain extent to be able to make this live stream, and I don't wish to push too much given where I'm going back to when I press end. And I've just looked at where I am when I press end, and I'm very much in the same place as when I press start. So I think I've got to take the pressure off everything again. Because there were pressures, it was like, what shall I do? What shall I do? When I woke up and I was trying to gain consciousness, trying to find out where I am to be able to navigate forward, and just to take the pressures off, and I'm really struggling to deal with all the elements of my circumstance at present, and I can see myself now where I am and how hopeless I am, and what the likely next few hours or days will consist of. And that's a lot for my mind to take on board. And then all of a sudden, playing on my phone looks like the only thing I can really realistically do. It's a hard place where I'm in, and pressing end. It's a very hard thing to do, but I think that's probably the best thing to do, to push myself to press end at the moment.